The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are those of the host/guest and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any of BXR entities and those they represent.
The applause always hits me. Welcome, 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 and or welcome back to another episode of the B Mix right here only on BigSwellsRadio.com. You already know who Thursday nights at 8 p.m. are for. Everyone, the unseen, the unheard, the overlooked, the forgotten, whether it be the forgotten part of you or for the person that does not belong anywhere. Me, be so welcome. And in the spirit of welcoming y'all, we have a guest, a special guest at that, y'all. Miss Bella Benz is in the building. Hey, Miss Bella.
Well, hello, honey. How you doing, baby?
Listen, I'm better now. I'm better with you by my side. Literally, y'all see her? Come on in here. Come on in the room.
You feeling the pro, baby?
I love a good pro, baby. Here.
Thank you, honey.
Yeah, you're giving, and it's with the brown on. It's giving. I ain't lying.
Hey,
come on with the brown.
Thank you, girl. Get me started.
Listen, I love the bounce. That's always been my favorite dance. If I can't do nothing else, I'm gonna give you a little bounce. That's my thing. I ain't lying.
Really? Like, gotta bounce it out.
Listen, if you don't do nothing else, just bounce it out. But we gotta teach the people, because they don't know. But it's all right. We're gonna get y'all where we are. Okay, if you can't appreciate the bounce,
we're gonna get them together.
Okay,
absolutely.
That's all. Oh Lord, wait a minute, y'all. Okay. Decline nicely. Okay, that's my bad, y'all. That's on me. Forgive me. I thought I put everything else on mute and I didn't. I always miss something, y'all. Okay, it's always a given. It's somebody forgiven during the show. And I thank you. I appreciate you. Y'all know here on the B Mix, y'all, I may not say it every week, but y'all already know that we love and encourage all raw, authentic, and organic material. So we are here, okay, to get into some things and just talk about some things. And first and foremost, Miss Bella Benz, can you just let the people know who you are? Give them a stamp. Like, introduce yourself. Familiarize our audience with you, please.
I am the Bella Benz, honey. So I am a multi-published lingerie and tattoo model. I'm a reality TV star. I'm a spoken word poet, soon to be author, honey. Yeah. I'm a hustler. I'm a child of God, and I'm a little bit of a ratchet too. What's up? Yeah, that's
I love it. Yes, ma'am. Okay. That's all what we love right here, okay? I'm telling y'all right now.
Thank you.
That's a good thing. That's a good mix. We love some balance up on here, okay? That's all I'm saying.
You gotta have balance.
Right? Isn't it necessary? It's necessary, right? It's necessary for the people. It's necessary for your soul. It's necessary for the movement, for the process. I know we talked about the process a couple shows ago, like a couple weeks ago. We talked about switching out or swapping out the term life. That's just life. No, refer to it as the process. It helps you in your mindset to be able to embrace what life brings about, what comes along, upon your process, right? As you're traveling and working down your journey. So, that's all right. That's what we love.
That's a good little perspective. I like that.
Right. Listen, and please, that's definitely what I want here.
Put it in the pocket.
Okay, pocket that one. I'm okay with that. That's what we want. Listen, it's just necessary. That was a divine download I had. And I was like, oh, I got to say this to the folk. I got to share this with my family now because it's what helps me. And I mean, I find myself times like, oh, life's so, wait a minute. The process, and even if you call it hard, if you call it a good one, a tough one, whatever, it's just the process because I know that no matter what, I have to be processed, even if it's for elevation, what's usually what's happening anyway, even if it don't feel good, being worked on, you're processing, right? And so, I'm not going to stay there too long, but I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
So, y'all, the topic for tonight, right? Because we're just gonna get straight into it while we have Miss Bella Benz with us, okay? Is be your shade of beautiful. What do you get when you hear just that statement alone? Be your shade of beautiful.
Number one, let me just say I love that. Let me just say that I love that phrase.
Yeah.
What that embodies to me is like individualism, authenticity, being raw and true to yourself.
Yes.
The true essence of who you are, not like your mask or your trauma, like being true to the core of who you were created to be by your creator. Your whatever kind of makes you different and sets you apart. You know, whether that's something awkward, it's a quirk, it's a disability, it's a that you choose to embrace as a flex, whether it's an imperfection or insecurity, whether, you know, that is just such a broad but very substantial, I feel like statement.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I agree. That's
good.
good. that's really good. You gave us something. And so every week I usually try to share like a B tip of the week. And so adopting something from what you said is and I'm flipping around a little bit, but I'm really taking away from all of what you said. If I had to pocket it, right? Because you know, pocket's a little small. I want to take all of that, right? And walk away with all of it. So I hope that each of us out there have, you know, written that down or hit the replay, you know, as you like and sharing and commenting on the show. And you sharing that out, baby. Make sure y'all sharing that piece right there because that thing was good. That was profound.
It was a gem.
Okay, come on, Jim. And so my pocket piece of it to turn into this week's B tip of the week is that your individuality is a flex. That's just it. Like that, I think that
it's not your biggest flex.
Your biggest flex. Thank you. So correction, I retract that statement. Let's go back. Let's fix that one. Your individuality is your biggest flex. That is your B tip of the week. Take that. That came from Miss Bella Benz and no one else. Okay, like
that came from us together.
Okay, come on here. Yeah, come on, the team of B.
That's the team of business. The team of baby. Don't play with us. Like, yeah. Had to clean it up, girl.
All that. And that's okay. Listen,
working on me, child.
Being processed. See what I mean? That's good. You know, that's all right. Listen, it's goodness even in the midst of the process. Because the blessing don't just come at the end of the process. We don't wait until the end. You know how we wait to and see, this is making me go back into that show because I remember saying then that sometimes we wait until like we set benchmarks and like objectives for ourselves, which is fine to a certain extent. But we wait until if we have met that benchmark, if we have met that goal, accomplished and achieved that dream or whatever the case may be. And then we think to celebrate ourselves. But, this is me speaking to myself out loud, y'all, because, you know, I'll be like, oh, let's celebrate everybody else. But me, no, like celebrate your wins. Even if it was, you know what, today, I ain't felt like showering all week, but I done finally showered today. Baby, celebrate your win, okay? That's okay. That's a big thing.
Like them depression wins are some of the biggest wins. Them depression wins.
Listen,
baby.
Yes.
Life is hard for all.
Okay. Okay.
Depression is real.
No,
especially in this Black community, child.
Absolutely.
So,
and finding the
outlet. If you ain't washed your butt in 6 days, you washed it on the 7th day, like Jesus.
Okay. Yes, like Jesus. We'll take that. Yes. The judges say, okay. Yes, but like seriously, that you're absolutely right. Those what do I call them? The depressipos, whatever. How do you put a depression episodes? The way they come about and will really rock your world. And it could be where you have made so much progress, you know, away from depression altogether, or just that they've slowed down, you know, kind of like I think of them as like contractions. And it's funny that I'm saying this, and I've had a child and still I did not experience for myself, I did not experience contractions. I never even knew I was having a child. So it's a weird thing to why this analogy came to mind. But I think of how, I don't know why I'm thinking about them on TV though, of like how they'd be like, you know, calling like, oh, you know, how far along are they and how far apart and things like that. And so it's like the thing of measuring these depression episodes of like how far in between, and what are you doing in between them? Are you, of course, you can not necessarily prepare for them, but in a sense of like, if you at least allow yourself and grant yourself some grace after each one, it's the process in which it happens between each one because of what you do as you come out of one, and not saying that you're ushering yourself into another one, but it is in a sense preparing you and processing you for whatever else is to come. Because as we all know, we absolutely push for, therapy and all of that here, is that therapy serves as a like a point person and a point piece and a safe place to learn differing, not even necessarily coping mechanisms, but in a sense like good coping mechanisms too, but just ways to deal with and to work through, as these different things come, because life doesn't just stop happening when you're like, oh, I think I beat depression. That is,
No.
that's a flash warning. Well, life does not stop as soon as you be like, you know what, depression is off me now, because that is possible and real. And when it does happen, again, that life doesn't stop happening. Like things still come about. The process is still processing, right? Like life is not over, and so you just learn to cope and to deal with things accordingly. So.
Absolutely. I love that.
Listen. And so when we think about like being your own, being your shade of beautiful, everything about what you said, and I just really love the takeaway of like speaking to individuality and authenticity. I think that is so profound, because I think at some point of life, automatically, if we hear anything referring to beauty, beautiful, we want to talk about physical features, right? Immediately. And y'all, don't get me wrong. Let me say this here. Look at her, y'all. She's gorgeous. Okay. So we're not even.
Like, to be honest, I feel like thank you so much. But I feel like my outer skin or show is like, it's nothing compared to the beauty inside of my mind and my heart. The fact that I've been through some very tumultuous things, and I've, been near death and beat a lot of odds, and I still want to learn how to heal and love people in a healthy manner, no matter how much I've been bruised. I feel like that is one of the most beautiful things about me, my resilience, my authenticity and my rawness and my realness. Like I'm one of them people, like, I care what people think as far as like business, you know what I mean, and things like that. But I'm one of them people, like, I finally have learned how to, like, my love is the love that matters, you know what I mean? Like anything anybody else gives you is just extra, because I didn't grow up knowing that, so I used to look for, like, I needed that, and I would notice it wasn't real, and then when it was, I was self-sabotaging. So I had to do a lot of soul searching and obedience to God and shedding skin, like like how snakes shed skin when they go into new seasons. Like I hate to use a snake because of like the serpent reference, but like that's the only thing that I really know that sheds the skin. But you got to shed skin to go into new blessings, new seasons. And like I've been telling people lately, like, I feel like one of my newfound things about myself is my ability to be able to let go when things aren't healthy for me. You know what I mean? So I keep telling everybody, like, this chapter of my life is called removing seats from the table, like removing chairs from the table. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot to be able to do that, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how much you want to stay in connection. Like, if it ain't good for you, it gotta go.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
That's good. That's good. Y'all listen, y'all see this? And so what's funny is that it's really where I was going with just setting aside time of, admiring it, and just mentioning the fact that your outward appearance, you are beautiful, right? And so, but I was literally going into speaking of like, but it's the inside of you. And I just hope that y'all are really catching, as I've had the pleasure of speaking with her many times before, now, to just know that she had so much to bring to the table, so many jewels and gems to just drop on us that she has already in just the few minutes that we've been on. Like, y'all cut it out. And so I knew this, and I really hope that you're taking in what she's saying, and that she's been able to talk about, and we can, get into, things. Y'all can absolutely ask questions and all, but y'all can even call in, text in, whatever the case may be. But as even if I want us to all, this is my dream for the world. My dream for the world, because it's something that I pride myself on. I pride myself on never needing to know someone's stuff. And what I mean by that is like the details of their stuff. I don't need to know that you've been gone through this and gone through that to just respect you as a human first. And then me just being the person I am, to love on you as knowing that God created all people. So to then love on you. So respect you as a human, love on you as a child of God. That's it. Like you already got that just because, right? You have to do nothing for that. Right. And so then though, when you really get to know somebody, and like, even if they, so as y'all have heard Bella speak about and drop different, like, and I don't want to say hints, but hints of the fact that, she's been through things and obviously overcome them and working to overcome, some and others and things that you don't need to know the inside and details of these things, just to know that you can respect the fact that, hey, this is a person that is literally walking through her shade of beautiful by being resilient, being her authentic self. Like that is the beauty of it. That is the whole point of us even getting to this topic of saying and the encouragement and hoping that everyone walks away tonight of it feeling a little more, if not just a little more empowered to be your shade of beautiful and to find out what that is. Because something that she said initially was that, it's about like being who you are, the who that you are. And so when I heard that, of course, then that when we hear things now, we have to train our minds and train our ears, hearts and spirits, all of that, right, align, but train it to where when we hear things that we, not necessarily that we overwhelm ourselves with like the charge and like what it is that we need to do, but in a sense, and I know not everyone is like task oriented, but I think that we're living in a day and age where we almost have to be. And I know that not everybody like is like me and crazy about like lists. Child will make a list real quick. I'll be like, ooh, all right.
Look,
okay.
I love a good pros and cons list.
Come on, see, list
maybe even a little Venn diagram from time to time.
Like, okay, it's necessary. Okay,
well, just look
to compare and contrast. I'm not mad about none of it,
Yes,
like it's necessary, and so either way. That's what I'm talking about. Like Venn diagram, all of that is necessary because as we, grow and grow through our process. Come on, somebody should be out there growing through your process because that's just what's happening. That, then we learn, like, again, just sitting here and hearing, her talk about things and speaking to even just a broad, like you said, but substantial statement of being your shade of beautiful. I've, walked away with some charge. Like, what? Gotta make sure that I know who I am. Other than that, how am I going to live in my shade of beautiful of my individuality? Like, we got to hear that.
Just another little gem. I'm sorry, I mean to interrupt.
No, please.
But like another like gem, like people who don't know me. So like when people who follow me on social media or like because I'm a little popular where we're from, and like they'll listen to people who used to know me. So let me just tell y'all something. Evolution is okay. You know what I mean? It is okay to evolve. And if people don't want to evolve with you, that's on them. That is not on you. You know what I mean? And do not let people project that onto you. It is nothing. Whoever said ain't no changing, no new friend, all of that is bad advice. That is trash advice. Don't listen to none of that because you keep yourself in that box and that's where you're going to stay. You know what I mean? You have to be able to open yourself up. And one of the things that I noticed is like people will try to tell me, which is hilarious to me, you're going to tell me who I am. You don't even know who you are. What? Like let's back up, Control Alt Delete that.
Yes.
And let's focus on whom that you are, because I know who I am and I'm comfortable in all of that. The good, the bad, the indifferent, the androgynous, the over the top, all of that. I love it. I love it and I live for it. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like makes me who I am, my larger than life personality. And then you can't allow, and most of the time, I really am starting to grasp this lesson. Like people have always said, and I was like, oh, it's cliche. Like, you can't take stuff personally. Whatever people saying is really not about you. It's about what they're going through. I swear to God, y'all, like that is so real. Like people will, it goes back to the people trying to tell you who you are, but they don't even know who they are. So basically people will spew out like the world is mean. They will tell you you're not beautiful. They will tell you, you're not going to be this. You're not going to be that. You're only this. You're only that. You're going to have this. You're going to have that. You're not going to acquire this. You're not going to acquire that. Because people like to project their fears and their limits and their inadequacy onto others. So what I always try to get across to all people, especially Black women or Black girls and Black youth or whatever, I love all people, but I'm for my people. And so when I try to especially get off, especially to people that are like younger than me, or like a lot of my female friends are like, oh my God, I look up to you. And it's just like, you got to have some effort about you. You know what I mean? Whether you're doing good or bad, people are always going to talk. So you got to just, whatever makes you feel happy, do it. Because whether you always going to hurt somebody's feelings. Always. It's impossible not to hurt anybody as a human. So if you got to hurt somebody unintentionally because you're making a good decision for you, listen, feelings are temporary. Eventually, they'll get over it. You know what I mean? And so will you. And you go and do whatever you feel like is going to empower you. I just want all people, especially women, Black women, to feel empowered within themselves. Like, whatever people, I grew up thinking that I was ugly because I have very strong features, you know, because of my genetics or whatever. And I got teased a lot about my cheekbones being very high, my lips, you know, things like that are now my biggest money makers, you know, in my photo shoots or in magazines or in bookings or whatever, you know, those are the things that get me what I need. Is the things that, you know, people try to use against me. Like, I was 2 years behind in high school and I graduated. I got a GED, but you know what I mean? I have a diploma. There's some people that would have given up. Like, oh, I'm 2 years behind. It wasn't because I was stupid. It was life stuff. You know what I mean? That was beyond my control as a child. But I used to show up like, y'all cannot imagine how hard life was. People thinking you stupid and you smarter really than everybody in that classroom. You know what I mean? And but you got behavior problems because they pick with you. You know what I mean? And then they don't know what you're living through at home. So you already coming from some darkness at home, coming to school, you don't get a break. So these are some of the things that I've overcome, and I never thought that I could. And because I was listening to what people were telling me. So I really get a good key out of things. And people tell me, oh, she's arrogant. Oh, you need to be humble, because I'm a very humble person. Like, I believe in energy, and I believe that if anybody on here is a person of energy, I'm pretty sure and confident that you can feel that I'm a very humble spirit. However, I'm also very aware of who I am. You know what I mean? I do not mind going to battle or to war about me, you know, because you will not make me feel inadequate. You will not make me feel unseen. You will not make me feel invalidated. You will not make me feel like I am less than. You know, I am enough. I am more than enough, and I am worthy. You know what I mean? I am most valuable. So if you don't feel like I'm most valuable, then there's something wrong with you. Ain't nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So y'all gotta adopt that. Y'all gotta sit with yourself. You know what I mean? And take them imperfections and flip them. Whatever you feel like is a weakness, you flip that, and I bet you'll find a different level of power.
That thing is good. Y'all hear me? I don't know about y'all knows I get excited about some words now. I told y'all that she's a poet, okay? Listen.
I am.
Okay,
shout out to the YouTube page. Bella Ben's Experience. Go ahead over to YouTube and look at my poetry. If y'all want to know my business, if I struggle with what I've been through, it's in that poetry. I tell stories. Y'all gonna enjoy it. Benia heard some of it.
I was gonna say yes. I can attest to it.
Like, I love listening to you.
Okay, listen, y'all know I love words, and I don't just say it, you know, easily. Like, oh, I love words. I'm falling in love with all words. No, like, I mean, the fluidity and listen. Bless yourselves, okay? Y'all want to know some good stuff? This is just your intro to Bella Ben. Listen, baby, go on over there. Okay, trying to tell you something good, because y'all hear her just flow with it. I mean, literally, the power of being able to talk through, you know, your circumstance, talk through past experiences, that alone is a beautiful shade, or a a powerful shade of beautiful. Like, that is,
thank you.
I don't even know what word I'm even searching for, but it is admirable at the very least. Like, it is something about the fact that I totally agree with her when she said, you know, to adopt that, all of what she just said. Y'all run the tape back.
Y'all can have all of. I want y'all to take it all. Adopt it. If you gotta listen to it every day, honey. If you got to slide in the DMs, like, listen, I was there listening to you on the beat mixing. If you got to send me a kind, but watch how y'all come up on me now. Okay. But send me a kind DM. You know what I mean? I'm here for y'all.
Yeah, y'all see that people are out here. Yes, people are out here. Like, do not. I don't know what stigma, I don't know what hype has been out here that had us thinking for so long that there was no one out here whatsoever that just cared about and cared on other people. Like you can care about someone, but to care on, it's just like to love someone, but then to love on them. It's a difference, right? It's a different feel. And the fact that she has opened herself up to even say, and I don't I don't believe her to be someone to just say that. I don't think she just walk around like,
girl, no.
Here,
I
right?
don't like people that
right. Look, without you even having to agree, like I figured that was not the case. Okay?
Girl, you know where to go to the other side real quick.
Right? So
you heard me get that, just like watch how y'all slide up.
Right. Right. Okay. Cool.
But I'm here for y'all.
A good friend. Okay. Okay.
Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice.
Okay. So the fact that she's opened herself up to, like, there are people out here I think early on in B-Mix, that we talked about just utilizing your resources. People, when they avail themselves to be a resource to you, utilize that. Do not take advantage of, but I know that phrase sometimes, but take advantage of opportunities. Yes, in that sense, but don't, overutilize and just feel as though that she or anyone else that avails himself to you to be a resource of encouragement, of empowerment. Don't look for them to do the work, though. That is where you will tire out.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
that is availing themselves. Okay, because why? Because she already.
I still got a lot of my own work to do, y'all.
There we go.
I got a lot of my own to do. So
okay, and that's the point. Exactly. And
it's
not anyone else's responsibility to work you through yourself but you. That's it. So for the believers, that's what we turn to. Like, God, can't nobody else down here help me out with nothing? You got me? All right, bet.
Hold on, how they say on social media, God, it's me again.
Okay. Listen, because
girl, it's your problem.
Okay, remember, you knew I was coming, didn't you?
Problem child.
Okay, you heard me coming down the hallway. I'm coming. Okay, I come. Okay, like, listen.
Because I told you he be slapping me on the back of the neck with the Goliath, girl. Like, all up in here. He be all up in here on the back of the neck with it. Like, okay.
Listen, okay, and sometimes it's necessary, and that's okay. I just say,
yeah. With me, you heard me say the problem. Yeah, I know why in the kingdom of God. Kingdom language.
Okay,
I know why.
Period. And you must. It's a must, y'all. It is such a, I don't even know. I don't want to keep saying it's a must, but Lord have mercy. Like, that is just where
it's a powerful place to be. It's very powerful. It's very peaceful. It's very like when you know your worth and what you possess and what you want and what you don't want, child. It be so you gonna start. It's like inhaling and exhaling. Like whatever comes, whatever goes, be blessed. You feel, but you can't come back around this mountain twice. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like
just
know that. You know what I mean. Like once you exiled off this island, baby. I see where you coming from, but we going somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, we over here. But bless this girl. I saw you over there. Need a little toilet tissue. Wipe that little booty. But other than that, you know, and you got to be okay with pissing people off. Might I say? Because I don't care nothing about it. Because what you want to do with this? What you want to do? You feel like that's always my like. But I told y'all, I warned y'all, I'm a little ratchet. You know what I mean? So that's okay. I don't be caring. Yeah. Because I know God got me at the end of the day. I'm going to live a long life. So what we about to do?
Come on now.
You know what I mean? What we going to do?
Yeah.
We going to let it be? Or we going to let it burn?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
come on. That's it. And if even in the burning, okay, that could be a blessing. But don't get me started there, okay? Just saying.
Oh, that's a whole sermon. We going to be here all night.
Like, listen, just saying, like, that is so good of just not only want to water down and say just, but that is so good of empowering and encouraging people to be okay with the release, like to be okay. You have to just be okay. I'll even go back to, I love when you said you got to be okay with pissing people off. I have jokingly said so many times, I know I have had to say it on here with y'all before, that I apparently am just good at pissing people off. I never mean to. But I'm so used to it now, like, especially of the male species. Lord, I just pisses them off. I don't know.
They be sassy. This new flood, like, Lord, send the flood, because these can't be the same men that Monica was willing to cross the ocean for. Like, because these men is real sassy.
Baby, the sass. I try
Why
to
is
tell
you
people.
So sassy, huh?
I have said that men are sassy, baby. I love when people try to tell me this thing is sassy, and they're like, "Oh, we know she got it from you." No, she got it from her father. You don't want to hear that she got a sassiness from her daddy. I don't know how to tell you, but I tell you that that's the truth. Okay, so you're absolutely right. These men out here are sassy, and I feel like ones apparently that are pissed off.
They collars be popped up, honey. Like they walking around with these man purses, calling them. I don't know what they call them.
I don't
but
even know.
Child saying it's not a man purse. It looks like a purse to me. Like, but
listen, okay. And I ain't gonna lie, I didn't probably see maybe of all the ones I've seen, like, oh, that looks cute, but it's still a man purse. I don't, and that you can't take away from it. Just, and that's okay. If that's what y'all like, okay.
Man tried to tell me it was a statue.
That's what. Thank you. That's the word I was trying to think of.
That ain't a statue. Is the upper echelon briefcase,
come on.
baby. That's the purse. That's the whole purse.
Listen, if they like it, then go on. But listen, it's a purse, and that's okay. It's your man purse.
That just don't sit right with me and my spirit as a man that I want leading me through life. But go, girl.
My things,
I can always be homies.
Okay, I wouldn't be able to respect you if you defending it, calling it a satchel. Like, okay, now we're going too far. Like, just why are we even defending? Just go along with it being a person. Let's go ahead. It's fine.
But what about when they be like, you know what? I'm packing in here, baby. I know you got your little toolie in
there. Okay,
I know.
And look,
that same little revolver. I know, baby. How many bullets you got in there? Let's talk about what matters. You feel me? Listen, can you really do anything?
Leave that person.
You know, is it any money in that bag? Because my mama always taught me.
Now
you never wear a purse
about it
that costs more than what you got in the bank.
Come
so
on.
It's your bag worth more than what's in your pocket. See, that's lady tea. See, that I spoke a little bit of a lady girl talk tea. See, y'all not supposed to know that. But since y'all always want to be up in our business, girl, please make sure that your bag is not worth more than your bank account.
Listen.
Reverse.
Listen.
That's how you do that.
Right? Okay, that's good. That's good for that. Now I hope y'all took that and ran with it. Now go on, tell your
I'm all right.
No.
Like
you're right. No, that's good. Okay.
Like
listen, we're not mad at that at all. They can have that piece of tea because I just want them to know about that as well. I've never even thought twice to even drop them with that knowledge. So I appreciate you for that. You know, never thought.
Girl, you know I got everybody back. Bella loves everybody. Okay, I'm an equal opportunity type of gal, but I like to be logic when the logic be logicking. You know, I just
but
got a little tidbit here and there. But I have no problems with how anybody chooses to live their lives. Because again, your shade of beautiful. Own whom that you are. See how they own that those are satchels, you know? They be matching them up with their fits, just like us, child. I like, girl. Who am I?
Listen, not how you did that mad at it. Okay, they can have it, and that's okay. Y'all, listen. Right now, we're going to go into a commercial break. We'll be right back with Bella for a little bit longer, but she got to get on up out of here because, baby, she's booked and busy, okay? So give us just a minute. We'll be right back.
All right.
Got it bumping. I get high, and you been heavy on my mind. Baby, you're too damn fine. Wonder let me in one time. I thought if I can get that back, then I can find a way to make you mine. But you know only fuck because I had drugs. I'm thankful for the drugs, so I just broke one out. I end up broke one out. Just want to think
Okay, we are busy. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? All right. I ain't never gonna get away from singing that when I talk about coming back because it was classic. I don't even know.
It's like nostalgia.
And right, and I really get offended. I ain't gonna lie, I don't get offended often. Well, offended to the point where I articulate it, but because I would be offended and be like, oh, you go in my little corner. But I'll be offended when people don't know what I'm talking about. Like, come on, nobody else sings that. I'll be upset. So
look, they ain't got no originality, fool. They ain't giving it up like you. See your shade of beautiful. You do that. You live in that.
You just said a word. They don't have to know your originality. That's okay, because if you know you, it really does not matter. She said this earlier, the fact that what other people are and what they do, it's secondary. Like, it's okay. Like, if you know your purpose, you know who you are, you know whose you are, baby, listen. And nobody, I will say this because I always try to give like not the downside, but in a sense, right? So like the fine print. So here it is that there are some things, absolutely, like some jewels that she has dropped throughout this even just short period of time that she's been with us, right? Of what to adopt. But at the end of it, no one can truly tell you how to find out who you are. The best thing I'm gonna tell y'all to do, y'all know, is get on your knees in prayer. Okay, now, and seek the Most High God to be able to help, because you will, baby. It's something about, you can get into a Bible, honey, and start reading something, you be like, oh, okay, Lord, you're right, okay. And I tell you right now,
but it hit real different when you submit yourself on the knees, child. Just saying, okay. Submission is the thing.
Listen, okay, that thing's good. It's good for you. That's the thing, because what we giving back to him, he already deserves, and he's owed. Like, we owe it to him. So I'm not saying it's not good to him, because you don't want to get caught in the mindset of like, oh, he deserves it, so I'm giving it to him. No, like, let me give you this, because not that I'm just doing it for you to do something else for me, but that I know that's what's for
you that guy. Okay. You the big guy.
No,
you
really.
Know what I mean? Like you the bomb diggity or whatever. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You like, really is him. You is him. You feel me?
Exactly. Like, listen, it's something about don't get in prayer and get the hype and God up, because that's what you're supposed to do. That thing, it'll bless you. Okay.
That's my man.
Okay.
Right. Look, grace and mercy is real, y'all. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to overcome any of that.
Listen, so
that's real.
No, that's real. Now that's the mic drop. Like, that's wouldn't have been. A matter of fact, it takes me to this lady that I encountered I guess the other day. I keep saying the other day, and that's from yesterday till like when I was born. But either way, so the other day, I love that she said I found the answers when I started to pray. Like, girl, are we not all out here searching for answers? Are we not? But we're searching out here for them when we know they in him. Don't get me. So I said, Miss Ma'am, now that thing was good.
So, when we was, before the show started, I was dropping little tidbits that were funny but were real. So to touch on that, I remember one time when I started going to another church that's pretty popular here where we are. And I was dating somebody in the family upset church. But anyway, so because of my demeanor, my personality, and, these two older Black women who have certain titles in the church. Okay. However, if I was really all that they say that I am, I would literally tell y'all, I would paint a picture of how they don't have the space to speak to me at all. Like, not even in that manner, just period. But I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? So, but if you knew what I knew, baby, please. Like, but they were trying to tell my ex at the time, like, oh, you need to be with another woman because she's not a God-fearing woman. She's not a child of God. She don't know God like she says she does, because me and God have a very direct and divine connection. Now, I am spoiled. That is, God is a parent, so no parent deals with all of their children in the same way. You know what I mean? However, what I will say that I know to be true, and I ain't even got to be nobody else but Bella, but I know that God, just like a parent, they talk to all of their kids. You know what I mean? However, this lady tried to tell me like, oh yeah, I didn't know who God was, bit. So, I love to be underestimated. So I had to hit her with when the logic be logicking. You know what I mean? So she had a son who was also special needs that she was very mean to. And I didn't like it. It made me want to beat her up because anyway. But so, he was just being the beautiful soul that he is. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he was upstairs playing with the other kids. And I said, how many times have you sat down here in this kitchen with us, drinking wine, you know, getting drunk like a drunken, which it says not to do in the Bible. You know what I mean? It's not a sin to drink, it's a sin to be a drunken. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, yeah, a little ratchet, know that.
Okay.
So, I said, how many times has your son called you since you've been down here? She was like, why does that matter? I said, because if all them kids is upstairs, every time your son calls you, what do you say? You answer him. Do you have to place your eyes on him to know that that's your son speaking to you? She was like, no. I said, how you going to tell me that I don't know the God? That I don't know when God is talking to me just because I ain't never seen. You don't know who I know. You don't know what I hear. You don't know what I've seen from God. So let's like turn this inward, focus on yourself. You know what I mean? Like all she could do was pick up that little wine glass and sip that cup. You know what I mean? Because you cannot stick me in a box. And you know, God loves people like me. He loves the wild. He loves the underdogs, the black sheep, the broken souls, the ones that everybody like, no, the throwaways. You know, why elevate what's already up? You know what I mean? If you already up, what's higher? You already as up as you can go, right? So elevation requires from the bottom up. Elevate, like an elevator. You know what I mean? Like, so all of that, my assignment is always going to be greater than any attack. You know what I mean? So honestly, when people start to spilling all of that negativity on me, y'all, I get excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, yeah, give me some more. Like, do I need to stir in a pot, make you a little manna? You know, give me a little bit more, because the more that negativity and stuff that they give, the more God shelters me, loves on me, protects me, holds me, blesses me, elevates me. Like, so you trying to poop on my parade, you ain't doing nothing but getting me paid, blessed, elevated, you feel me, supported. Like, baby, you seasoning my sauce. Like, come on. Thank you.
No, really.
Haters is your biggest fans, bro. Like, swear to God.
Listen, the fact that you dropped that jewel on her alone, just, I mean, that speaks volume of the fact that it's just like, you don't know who I know, you don't know what I hear. That is so powerful. It even goes back to what I was talking about earlier of not needing to know someone's stuff. That is, if we could all adopt that, and just it helps you, because y'all know my ministry, my biggest ministry, and I mean outside of actual like ministry, just in general, who I am and what I pride myself is minding my business. That's my favorite. I love minding my business. It's that must be favorite.
That Pisces stuff. That must be that Pisces thing up in us. Like, you know, our birthday ain't really but like a few days apart. So I think that's that symmetry that we've had since day one. Since day one that I met this lady, it's just like, what's up with you? I like you. Yeah,
no, really.
Come here. Yeah, let me love up on you. Yeah, let me love up on you, because I like you. Your energy speaks to my soul. You know what I mean? So I think it's that thing. You know what I mean? That minding my business, that I can pour into you, and that doesn't dim my light. You know, all of that. I love that. I love that.
That part. That's exactly what that is. And so then that is exactly what fuels of what you said to the woman of, you don't know who I know, you don't know what I hear. As long as if you are in your own stuff, if you are in your prayer closet, or if you are walking in your purpose and doing all of your divine work and all your divine obligations and fulfilling those, if anything, what it does when you're actually doing the actual work and not putting on the form of God, that fog, and not, you know, what is it, like pretending, then it makes you really respect that, you know what, hey, even if this person is not doing what they say they're doing, I'm just gonna respect the fact you say it, and I'm focused, I'm over here, like I can love on you, I can care and all of that, right? You know what I mean? I am here and I'm in my stuff, and I know that you have to go. So before you get out of here, I want to share this quote, because I want this to be for everyone, but I just would love for this to be in your hearing. It's a t-shirt that I had. I couldn't figure out what to throw on, and so I threw on this little wrinkle shirt real quick. But this shirt that because this is the back of the shirt, and I was like, Dave, if I put this shirt on.
Look, my sweater wrinkled too, y'all. My sweater
baby.
wrinkled
Look,
too.
look, I look like what I was going through, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all.
You
child.
know that's a no. Go ahead.
No, trust me, I do. Because Sydney did something else to her hair, child. It didn't end after the haircut.
I'm gonna pull up on you right after you might be asleep by the time I'm done with them. I'm gonna pull up on you tomorrow. Okay. You know what I mean? We gonna yeah, go ahead. Because
listen, Sydney, she won today, I promise. But so this is a quote from Dr. Benjamin E. Mays, and he said, "It is not your environment, it is you, the quality of your mind, the integrity of your soul, and the determination of your will that will decide your future and shape your lives." Listen. Not your environment.
Can you run that back one more? Can I get that one more time?
You got that, babe. Look, let me smooth the shirt out. Okay, boom. And it reads, "It is not your environment, it is you. The quality of your mind, the integrity of your soul, and the determination of your will that will decide your future and shape your lives."
Girl, I think that's my next tattoo.
Okay.
I'm gonna send that on over to this iPhone.
I got
yeah, airdrop. I think I want to go get that. Like, because my body is my canvas. So, and I tell my story through my ink, y'all. I'm real deep with it. But anyway, that is like you can really take a rat tooth comb and like,
insane.
You can really get into that. That's like
right. Mm-hmm.
That could be like 3-4 shows of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
that
really.
Is so prolific.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, my manager texted me. So that's so prolific, and I love it, y'all. I'm sorry, I gotta go.
That's okay. We love you.
I gotta go because they paid me, but I love
right.
y'all.
That's fine. We love you. We appreciate you. I acknowledge your experiences. Thank you for your wisdom, and the invitation is always open. Please come back.
Girl, I'm coming back through.
Yeah.
Look, if I text me, but we'll work it out, and let's see what my schedule is for next week because I love this, and I would love to whatever, however I can support you. I got you.
I appreciate you, and same here. We love you here. Thank you, and best wishes. Go on and do that thing.
All right, thank you, girl. I'm out, y'all. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, see you.
All right, bye.
So y'all listen. Y'all know I get excited. And I'm so excited. Let me calm down. Let me drop this news before I get into. I'm gonna get to a few notes that I had that I had prepared rather for this week. But I really just wanted to yield the floor, and y'all see why. The girl that woman there, she got stuff to say. Understand me? And when just like I do feel as though that I, have things to say, right? And I've been, told, and just some feedback that I receive of just how I help. And I don't just mean on here, but just in general, like that I've received, different feedback from different venues and avenues of life that, what I've talked about is helpful, and where I just feel like, oh, I was just talking, right? And so for me to feel as though like, okay, I have something, to add to the conversation and to contribute, but I'd love to, it is nothing wrong with yielding the floor, literally yielding the floor, yielding the space to people that will, help, for me to know that I have an audience out here, right? That I only want to bring folk on here that can benefit from this experience, whether if it means that they are contributing to the conversation and discussion of things that we all can adopt out here in the world of the B-Mix. Or if it's, say if it's even somebody, don't get me wrong, it doesn't only have to be people that's like, oh, you've been through something, and oh, you can shed light. But if people are working through their stuff, and, we can talk through it here too. I'm not saying I'm trying to turn this into a talk show, but I mean, just saying, like, I get excited, and I'm talking and rambling all over the place, but that was for me, y'all. And not for y'all. I'm excited. So, like I said, I'm going to share this piece of news before I get out of here. Lord have mercy, y'all. They're talking about Kanye. Okay, here we go. Kanye, and I'm reading verbatim. Okay, so y'all now charge it to the article, not to the B-Mix or even to the Exposed. Okay. So Kanye Nutjob West has been suspended from Instagram for 24 hours after his tirade against Kim K, Pete Davidson, Trevor Noah, D.L. Hughley, and more. Can I choose to mind my business right here? Because it's really right up there with Jussie. It's right there.
Except for one hasn't got that comeuppance.
There's I will admit this. I'm gonna say this here, and I want to say this and leave this right here and run away from it. I ain't lying. So it's probably being a coward, but about this much here. Y'all see my nails short, so right in between there. Okay, that much of me still considers like, dang, here's a day, and I know.
I thought you was going a different route. I thought you was going to say this much right here is where the Prozac should be.
See, I should have known it. That's why I was trying to hurry up and snake my piece, because I knew something like that was coming from you. I didn't know.
You was holding a pill.
Listen, I was. I'm not laughing. No, Mona, you're not taking me there today. But I have considered, and I know this is always my thing, but truthfully, it's the truth that I don't be knowing all the ins and outs. But you hear of something, that story like this, you've heard enough of it somewhere, somehow. Like, even enough to be like, what's Kanye doing now, right? And so just knowing that he's, been just, I don't want to say acting out.
But you want to know what's interesting about this?
What's that?
Is that Kanye is no comedian, right?
Right.
And then you come up against Pete Davidson, who is nothing but a comedian, right?
Yeah,
so in his responses, he's coming at Kanye as a comedian, as his profession. Now, if Kanye was coming back as a rap artist, then that's something different.
Right.
You're coming back as a wounded animal. Right. That's crazy.
Oh, God. And what sucks is I never understand. And that's a very good point, because it's not like he's coming out with diss tracks for everybody. So that's a very, very good point to be made. Because where I was thinking was, I never understand where we pinpoint, certain folks. I don't want to say, but I guess I really think it's true. Just about everybody's talking about Kanye. Like somebody somewhere, even here, little older B-Mix is here mentioning Kanye, and I'm just wishing the best for him, child. I always
I try to, but it's the antagonistic behavior.
Yeah, that part. That's what I was
killing me. But like I said, Pete is coming back as a comedian. DL Hughley's coming back at him as a comedian. Trevor Noah. You can't be a rap artist when your track ain't gonna come out until next year. Against a comedian who has a platform to be funny every single day, every Saturday Night Live, every and then you're coming back with anger, like you're blistering mad that Pete Davidson is taking pictures of him and your ex-wife in bed together and sending it directly to your phone. That's comedic. And that's comedic timing. But get into that. That's comedic timing.
Yeah, there it is. Timing. And
that makes you a
and
good
that all
comedian.
Of this is the entertainment.
And that makes you a good comedian, because now I'm antagonizing you with the things that I get paid to do. Right. You're not. You're mad over there not getting being. You're over there mad not getting paid. I'm getting paid being a comedian, being my natural self, because this ain't doing nothing but hyping up my career.
Right. That part.
Who's winning? Pete.
Right.
Pete's winning.
Right. And I just and I want right. And I was just about to say, and again, that very small part of me wants to be like, oh, I guess his frustration could come from like, oh, but this is my life. But you're making
you had no one to blame but yourself. You lost your wife.
Yes.
Your wife didn't cheat on you and go to Pete Davidson. She left you and went to Pete Davidson. You lost her. Put your hands down. Crazy.
And that's our news for tonight. Like, that ain't nothing else to say about it. Like, I y'all know my heart. Y'all should definitely be able to pick up my heart by now that a part of me, wants to give. But it's hard to. I will admit that. Some people make it hard to care for them and care about them. I think we all, I'm sure, have experienced somebody, one or another. If you ain't come across no toxic personal narcissist in your life, count your blessings twice. But for those of us,
I've been calling that man crazy for a good 10 years. That man is a bag of nuts. Yeah.
I'm not laughing, Kanye. I didn't laugh. Not a bag of nuts. I'm just sorry. But it just makes it hard to, because I try to, and I do possess that ability to be able to, just look past even the crazy, because, my own experiences. But still, it makes it hard to, because when you wash all of it down and get down to the bone and marrow, you're just like, Kanye, what? Like, because my head would get to spinning, I think, if I really, for those of you that are really following the Kanye story, like you said, to be able to call him crazy for the past 10 years, like, I could only imagine the frustration, especially, and I will speak to this, and I'm saying this now, I don't know if I've ever said this before, at least on here, but that I have truly, I'm speaking of Kanye as a person, right? Understanding that who he is an entertainer, he's a rapper, and all those things. And I still give him genius, because somewhere, like, all this crazy got to mean some genius in there, baby. But I have never truly been a Kanye fan, right, of his music. I can admit now that back in the day, so it's old music, I'm talking about old music first.
Me either.
Right? I was never at a place where I could appreciate it back then. Now, though, what is crazy, sorry to keep using this word, y'all know I've been trying to get out of using the word crazy, but what is crazy enough is that in more recent time, in current time, I can appreciate, like, Benia can appreciate old Kanye music. And even some new, like his gospel, I haven't heard that, I think, the entire album, but I've heard like some of it and like it and can appreciate it, right? So it is, some of it, like, so the moves he is, and I am the person that, for artists, when I do learn of, just who they are, like, when I learn of a person, their shade of beautiful that they choose, because remember, I didn't even get around to saying this, but your shade of beautiful is a choice that you make. I believe that everything is a decision. Everything is a choice. So his choice, okay, his shade of beautiful, a little dingy. Okay, now I know it's not for us to judge, so I kind of take that back, but I kind of leave it there too. Okay, just Kanye. I mean, when I say, if nothing else, even with me not following his story, but him hitting the headlines in such a negative way so many times for so long, that all I've ever hoped for, like I do, because I just see people, I see souls, is hope for the best for him. Like, seek the treatment, seek the need. Now, Moni mentioned the Prozac, whatever, because we don't shun against. If you need psychotropic medication, okay,
or
whatever.
Something, Ritalin.
Okay,
you got choices.
Now, all right,
a sugar
now.
pill,
All
maybe
right,
something, a downer.
Okay?
No uppers.
Like,
he does not need an upper.
At some point, you needed a tranquilizer, like, just chill out.
Something, a tranquilizer. I like it. Shoot them.
No, I like it.
In the back of the neck.
Be a mean Money.
In the back of the neck with a nice old tranquilizer dart.
And we don't get me wrong, we are not like laughing at somebody, but it is like he makes it such a show, and that is what hurts me, because of course,
it's interesting because I always used to say I'm mad at the people that surround him that don't tell him.
Can you imagine though? Could you imagine? Because again, you can't tell me that. And I know this is a huge statement, but I do feel all of us have experienced someone, whether it's just an old friend or something, but you've experienced someone in your life that you have been around, that you have wanted more for them than they probably want for themselves. Like, we've all experienced that some way, shape, or form. Or if you haven't, then surprised you were that person. But like, I could only imagine being one of those people closest to him. And my heart used to always go, I used to chuck everything up under, like, okay, a lot of people say, that, or I've heard, I think right in reading articles of things that people have mentioned, like, since the passing of his mother, that, obviously he's taken that pretty hard. And then it was the accident with Jaw and all of that. So just some traumatic things. And that can absolutely alter the psyche. That can alter the brain. But was there anything beforehand? Like, now it's like, Lord, maybe I might get around to watching this thing. I didn't watch it. The Genius. I just like the way it's spelled. It's kind of cool. But maybe I'll get around to watch it, because does that go back into childhood? Like, what does that talk about? If it don't give me nothing, Kanye, I ain't watching. But I don't understand, because at the end, and I kind of hate using the word, but the phrase, but at the end of the day, all I do think about now is for the children. That is the point of working on self so much, that you are making sure that you are not passing on traumas and embarrassment to your children or to generations after you. Even for folks that do not have children, there is a generation coming after us now, and there are generations to come, that you don't want to pass this on to. I don't, that part I don't understand. And so when he uses, because I've heard one argument that kind of stuck in my head a little bit, that's why I can bring this up, of the fact that he was trying to use the argument of like, oh, this is what happens to Black dads and this and that. And somebody made the argument like, oh, now you kind of want to You want to identify with us now? It wasn't that way about 30 minutes ago. Like, Kanye, do what's best for you and your children. Doing what's best for your children is doing what's best for you. And I mean, that is seeking the utmost help. Like, I still want to believe, because he very well could be, someone that reminds us of, the fact that in the Bible, it says that God reserves the right to use and choose and use whomever he sees fit. So I don't question, I'll be honest, that is where my faith lies. My faith lies in the fact that I don't question that he could absolutely be hearing from God. He could absolutely, be some things. That's my flesh right there. But some things that, not everything, but some things, probably are the moves that he makes or whatever. Sure. But absolutely quite a few others that are just too questionable. To outwardly, I don't even know how to describe them. That it's just like I would never want to be the person in somebody's life that serves that purpose, though. That like, oh, my life is so, I'll use this word for lack of better words, like it's so nasty and messy that you're like, oh, God can use everybody, I guess, huh? Like, I don't want to, and I know somebody, like there's somebody in my life that I still be like, ooh, she reminds me that God will use anybody, baby. Okay, because he will. He spoke some words straight through her, straight to me, and baby. Moving on. But Kanye, just y'all pray for Kanye. Pray for his children. Pray for all the little babies in the world. Just pray for everybody. Just put it in prayer. That is one of those people. That is the least and the most that you can do for folks like that, because I could only imagine being those folks that are close to him that I'm sure would only want what's best for him. But at some point he's got to want what's best for himself, and if he does not figure that out, that is nobody else's responsibility, not even his ex-wife. Oh Lord. Woo. I was pulling for them. I ain't lying. It's just
I wasn't.
You weren't really?
Mm-mm.
I was because so I had my time in life where I really love watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and so
I can honestly say I was an actual fan of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I watched all the way to the end.
Right. So so when it was, I'll go back to like, and I guess it made me, because I guess it just probably became a fan, or just overall the show and like the family. So probably a fan in general. My favorite always was Chloe, but either way, like rooting for Kim of just like, okay, seeing the Chris somebody wedding, and then knowing that she still was getting the flag with the Ray J boy. So okay, got it. Right. So just pulling like, Kim, I really hope you can just get it right with somebody. And then because he was always that best friend, like lingering around, and then you could tell like,
I didn't expect for the marriage to last as long as it did.
Really?
That's what I didn't expect.
No.
I thought it was going to last long enough to have kids, which they did.
Okay, so you saw that.
But I did not think it was going to be as long as this 10-year stretch.
Wow.
Which is good for them, as a celebrity couple.
Yeah, well, right.
That's
true.
good for them.
I thought it was going to make it. I don't know. I do know why. I think just because I was sold on the story of like, oh, the friend that hangs around that, always has love for her, but loved her so much to see her happy, even if it wasn't with him. And then it's like, oh, it finally happens.
But you want to know why I knew how it wasn't going to last? Because she's too busy to care and to deal with his nutty behavior.
Okay.
Up and leaving, just up and leaving and going to Wyoming and staying for months and then coming back home like ain't nothing wrong. Where you do that at?
Okay.
And she busy running her own conglomerate. And then I gotta track you down and all that. That's how I knew it wasn't gonna last.
Okay. Point.
And then he's petty because then he'll get a girlfriend while you're still married. Mind you, you'll get a girlfriend and they act like it was her that did you wrong, but you did her wrong because you the one got a girlfriend over in Wyoming.
I forgot all about that.
That's nutty behavior.
It is. And
then the last straw is I'm going to build a house across the street from you so I can watch you with my girlfriend.
Money. No,
It's a nut bag. That's a bag of nuts.
Okay, I'm not letting.
And that's where this antagonistic behavior is starting from, because that's why Pete is actually antagonizing. But you live across the street, sir.
Got it.
You want to square up? We could go outside, but I'm a comedian, so I'm gonna do this on social media where you want to play these games. We live across the street from each other now.
Wow.
You are right there.
I am screaming right
now. And Pete, like, I'm living in the house that you built with your wife. Remember all this white walls and all this white y'all built? Is mine.
Hey, where did you put the screwdriver? But that goes to this. I'm not. No, Lord, I'm not getting into this. I did not know this man. Wow, you dropped something on me today. This is why I mind my business.
But that's why I never expected for this. I mean, you could tell she had her head down while this whole entire relationship transpired, because the nutty behavior has been constant up until he forced her to become the first lady of his church. What? You want to be what? A deacon? A minister? Huh?
And you know what?
And let's not talk about those shoes. Ugh.
And that's what I get. Because see, when I was speaking of that, of like being used by God, I really was talking about like his gospel album, and I didn't. So be your shade of beautiful.
I don't know where this fashion line is being sold at. That, you know, like, I have never seen anybody wear that beige, all that beige at one time.
Y'all, okay, so I have been queen of saying that I love ugly shoes for the longest. I think, but some ugly is like, all right, like it really
it's like, all right.
Like, all right,
okay. That's not ugly.
Okay. Now I ain't gonna lie, I think I do look, I don't think I'm going to get them, but there's some I never have names and all that. It's a pair that are ugly enough that in a color I'd be like, okay. But I don't know. It's and that's because I'm weird. But I guess y'all, that's all I got. But
they were meant to be what they were, collector items. You're not supposed to wear them. I don't even think you're supposed to wear his clothes. I don't think they're supposed to be worn. I think they're supposed to, you got
some of them can't be.
They're a piece. And if you get something, an invite to something spectacular, that's something that's only going to happen once in your life, the best party in the world, that's when you pull out a Yeezy jacket.
Okay. That's when you wear it to the watch night service.
Right. Okay. You want something that covers your whole, the Met Gala. Okay. You wear a Yeezy outfit to the Met Gala. Something that covers your face so nobody knows it's you. Because that's how his clothes work. Everything covers your face up. Like, you gotta hide your crazy.
I was about to say, has he given the story? But okay, maybe he knew that COVID was coming beforehand. So, all right. Okay.
It's all to hide the crazy. You got to look at it. You got to diagnose the symptom. The symptom is that when you start to wear clothes where you don't want to be seen, that's crazy.
Okay. Look, point. Look, you see, I ain't got no argument. I ain't argued nothing the whole time. Don't you doing enough of the arguing? Okay. All right. This might be pushing it, so I'm gonna say it. So, because I just told myself, don't say it. Am I the only person? I might be wrong for saying this, and I don't know, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Am I the only person that ever thinks like someone that outwardly expresses their grief, right? And I will be honest, I'm asking this and I'm considering like some of these neglets walking around Baltimore like that, but just follow me. So someone that outwardly expresses their grief, and you know, there's just one in particular or whomever that they has just hurt their grandmother or their mother or, you know, the aunt, father, whomever, right? Okay, they're allowed to have that. But okay, I never understand how. Let me see how to ask this for y'all to understand what I'm saying. Like, imagine if you dated, or imagine if you were Kim K. We can even do that. I ain't about to say even just dated Kanye, but it wouldn't cross your mind to ask yourself, like, or even ask him, like, you know, do you think, I know that you've dealt with the loss of your mother and it's very hard. Do you think that you're making her proud? Am I the only person that thinks like that? Like, I have dated or at least talked to or dealt with, you know, or I guess just that text or whatever, like just entertain. That's what I'm looking for. Entertained someone in like the dating life. And and maybe they've expressed it, because there are some people that really like, either other people just maybe haven't had that hard person that they've lost, or maybe, but there are just, if you think about it, there are a few people in your life that you've come across that are like, oh yeah, she dealt with the loss of her father really hard, or he dealt with, as we know about like Kanye. Like, I think anytime you kind of think of him, you kind of forced to remember that he has outwardly expressed, and continues, I believe. I haven't heard it in a while though, but one thing is a staple about him is that he has dealt with the loss of his mother pretty hard. And so because he's that person, like, it just makes me think like, yo, remember, there's this side of you that, really deals with the loss of your mother, really, really tough. And then you're this way, and just some things that you do, you don't want to try to align that and be like, let me do things that would make her proud. Like, I don't understand that part. Like, I'm gonna let that sizzle and fizzle out in the world. But in the last few minutes that we do have together, y'all, I'm gonna just slide us back on over, because I think we can stay on Kanye for a while, especially with that question there. I really do want to know, is y'all liking, sharing, and commenting and all that, the show, and the overall BMX show, and then this particular week, y'all just let me know how you feel. Like, you never, like, have you ever asked yourself, like, bruh, you don't want to make the person that you lost proud? I don't understand. Like, you won't just act like this? Like, it's almost like the same people, like the men that are running around like, oh, we gotta this for our community and this and that, but y'all the ones that are, womanizers. Like, you're breaking up the community. You're out there just dropping kids off every left and right. There I go. I said I was gonna bring us back, and I done gone off again. Okay, be your shade of beautiful. Remember, it's a choice. And so I have often talked about, I'm sure on here, but I know I've said often, quite a few times, that I'm an experience, and it's not, I'm coming from a boastful place, and not even, if it was technically, I wouldn't even really have to, explain this, but I just, in the art and the spirit of articulating and talking things through, that it's not coming from a boastful place, like, but I'm an experience. I believe that, God has used me really as a catalyst, to like, people that I crossed paths with, like me working on my peace so hard and so much, and fighting to maintain it and sustain my peace, that I believe that he has truly used me, and I know some, like, so I'm not the only one, that he has used to bring folks in my path, across my path, that there's something to get out of experiencing me, just my peace, the way I operate, the way I handle things. And while I may be struggling to stand confidently in these very things that I'm fighting through, oh my gosh, I didn't even get a chance to tell you about Sydney. Lord have mercy, so much. But yeah, like, I just, in that, right? And so at the least, people that have crossed my path, they walk away having experienced what peace feels like, right? What stable love feels like. And what did I get in return? I know I can't be the only person to ask myself that. Like, so I just got to be, you let a broken man, a man that hasn't dealt with his emotions and has unaddressed traumas and all, and triggers and things like that, you use me as a catalyst for him to cross my path, and I might have fallen for this might be it, and now I'm left with like, okay, this can't be it, oops, let this go, this was just supposed to be a season and a reason, type situation, and now I'm like, oh, I'm back single again, oh my gosh, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know I'm not the only one that's asked that question, right? So what's your response to that? Because there's a response even for you to have, right? It's not for you to tell God everything all the time, but the response is, you got to know your purpose, your shade of beautiful. When we were talking with Bella earlier, and she was talking about individuality, authenticity, knowing who you are. If you get to know who you are, so for you, you may not be a catalyst. Someone else out there, you may be. What is it? That what would be your response, right? And so it's about knowing your purpose, or else you'll feel unfulfilled in your fulfillment. How about that? Now that's something to put your pipe and smoke it. Why would you want to waste your time feeling unfulfilled when in all actuality you are fulfilling your purpose? That's a lot of us. If you really get some time in, y'all thought I was going to leave a show and not say self reflection. Come on now, get some self-reflection time and really dive into some things about yourself and realize that you are actually fulfilling your purpose. Even searching and seeking the Most High God to figure out what your purpose is doing the necessary work. Just saying, right? So I want to quote J. Cole. I had a J. Cole day the other day, and I wish I could remember exactly the song, but y'all find it. Long live the idols, may they never be your rivals. I feel weird always when I quote rap lyrics, but like, one, we're gonna get into idolizing people, but they're idols. So we say music idols or whomever, idols in different genres and walks of art. And so there are people that are just like, oh, these are idols. They're icons, right? Icons. And they should never be your rivals, right? You can see them as, competition of like, oh, I wish I could, get to level and even surpass that, right? You can set some goals. Those are even realistic expectations, but never for them to be rivals, because actually, no one is to really be your rival but your own self. Be your own healthy competition. So where you're always trying to outdo yourself and no one else. It's your lane. Form it and run it. Stay within that. If you work on beautifying your own lane, you won't worry about if your lane is smaller than anyone else's, how someone else's measures up. You're in yours. That's it, and that's all. Okay? Just saying. And remember what I said that the lady said, that she said she found the answers when she started to pray. Keep that in mind. Okay? Just keep that in mind, because when we are, as we're closing, when I think of things and I often say like, it's me, I'll get on the phone venting or whatever and be like, girl, yeah, it's me. The problems, they just stay with me. I need to get my life together. I need to clean this house. So I need to do this. It's me. I'm actually taking time, as in like the problem, right? I'm taking time out where I really should be patting myself on the back to say, it's me. It's me that's showing up in this thing. It's me that's acknowledging that it's something to be fixed and done and worked through and processed. And it's me that's going to show up in this process to be processed for the process, right? To acknowledge and to take heed to the process and all that it brings. It's me. First, we come to it. It's me. It's me. Woe is me. It's me. Okay? All right? Y'all got that? Be the shade of beautiful. Be your own. Be your shade of beautiful. Be that and nothing else. Be that and nothing less. Be that and nothing more. Because if you are so confident in you, you won't even feel as though there is a more than beside God. That's like, it's God is you. As everybody else, and that's okay. If you're in a healthy place, you're not looking down your nose at anybody. You see them eye to eye, shoulder to shoulder, and then you understand that there are people that, I'll use this example in closing of, that not everybody can be a CEO. There are some custodians, and while you will always to respect the custodian as just as you would respect the CEO, understand that not everybody serves their own purpose. Back to that purpose word. That word purpose is something. It keeps coming back around. It will come full circle for you. You work it, it will work for you. You seek your purpose, God will work your purpose through you. It is a done deal when you do that. Be your shade of beautiful. Be the mix that you are. I love to say that. I don't know how sometimes I get off the show without saying it. I really mean that. Be the mix that you are. That's where the name came from. It's really because of the fact I can never remember lyrics to songs. And so I'd be remixing songs, like mixing trap songs and rap and gospel. But that's beside the point. The real story we can get to later. But it really adopted it because it's being the mix that you are. All of that, the balance, find that balance of the mix that you are. You're mixed with something. I ain't just talking to folks that think they mix with black and white. They got a little Hispanic in them. They got, Native American. That's not what I'm talking about. That too, sure. But I mean, we're talking the inside. We never once really talked about physical features when we're talking about being your shade of beautiful. Catch that, if nothing else. Your shade of beautiful truly has nothing to do with your outer shell. Your shade of beautiful has everything to do with your inner self. Work on that. Feed your inner man, your soul man, your spirit man. What you feed will grow. especially depending on what you feed it. Feed your spirit man and watch him grow. He should be more dominant than your flesh, your outward appearance, your inward appearance, like your inner self should be much more dominant than your outward or outer shell. Got it? We good? I'm getting out of here, man. We talked enough and fussed. I ain't fussed. I just wanted to drive some things home. I love y'all. I appreciate Miss Bella Benz coming to grace us with her presence, okay, and drop her wisdom, y'all. Listen, get into it. Follow her on IG. Don't forget she already dropped her handle for YouTube to catch her poetry. Go and bless yourselves with that. Run the tape back, catch those jewels all over again. And we will see you next week right here on BeExposedRadio.com for another episode of the B Mix. Until next time, be the mix that you are. Peace.